All right, so we need to train the muscles of our hand to naturally go into this shape and hold the bow this way all the time without thinking too much about it. So the first thing I like to do with my students is do rocket ships. So you start with your bow straight in front of you, and you're going to send it up to space to show the aliens what a very good bow grip looks like. And you get the cool aspect of looking underneath your hand, which I can't really show on camera, but you can look at it. So you've got your bow grip up here, and you can make sure that all of your fingers are properly curved, your thumb is curved outward, all of that good stuff. And then you want to bring your bow straight back down. So we're kind of practicing straight bowing here, but in a strange way. So your rocket ship goes up and it comes back down and all that good stuff. So a couple of rocket ships. Another good one for stability of the bow is to try to stir a pot with it. So you want to keep the bow stick straight up and down. Let me see if I can scoot away here. You want to keep it straight up and down. You don't want to like hold the bow here and just swirl around the top or that. The bow stick stays straight up and down, and you stir around and around. And I like to make this a seasonal exercise. So since it's June right now, we might be stirring lemonade. In the fall, we might be stirring hot chocolate or soup or something. So it's just kind of fun. So once we've done our fun exercises, the rocket ships and the stirring of whatever, now we get into the ones that really work our muscles a little bit more. So depending on how long you've been playing and how comfortable you are with your bow grip, how strong your fingers are, you either do mini windshield wipers or pinky push-ups. So let's start with mini windshield wipers, which still work my muscles, by the way. I've been playing for 20 years, and miniature windshield wipers and pinky push-ups still work my muscles. So if you're doing it right, if your bow hold is correct, and you're doing the exercises correctly, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing, you should still feel a burn. So mini windshield wipers, the bow goes straight out in front of you, and you tip the hair down towards the ground. And a lot of students, a lot of beginners, their bow grip starts to be compromised right around here. So this is kind of in between 9 and 10 o'clock, closer to 10 o'clock on a clock face. Their bow grip starts to get weird and compromised, and thumbs collapse and all sorts of stuff. So for a while, you want to just go from 12 to 10. And here we are using the rotation, a slight rotation of our arm, to bring it down and up. And do this pretty slowly. You want to focus on the sensation, not just how many you can do in 30 seconds or whatever. Also, I see some students that not only are going fast, but they're windshield wipering the whole way over, and we never need this rotation when we're playing our instrument, like pretty much never. So you don't really have to rotate this way. This is the motion that you need. So once you have gotten down to about 10 o'clock and your bow grip is completely maintained and comfortable, then you start going down to 9 o'clock and bringing it back up. And the further you go between 10 and 9 on the clock face, the more you're going to feel the weight of your bow go into your pinky. So the pinky is counterbalancing the entire length and weight of the bow once we get down here, which is exactly what happens when we're playing and we're at the frog of the bow, and all of this part of the bow is just hanging out over the instrument because this is our contact point. That's where your pinky needs to take control of the bow, is at the frog. The frog is the most difficult place to control the bow, and it all comes from your pinky. So that's why we need to train it really, really well. A straight pinky can do these exercises. It's possible, but a straight pinky doesn't have all of the flexibility or actually all of the control that a curved pinky does. So now that we have done our miniature windshield wipers or our full quarter of a circle windshield wipers, you are ready to attempt the pinky push-ups. But you know, it's probably going to take you a few weeks if you're brand new at this, of doing just the miniature ones and the full quarter circle ones before you can properly achieve the pinky push-ups. Sometimes it takes a really long time. It's hard. So pinky push-ups is your starting position is here, completely horizontal bow, and you're feeling your pinky basically taking all of the work right now. It's holding up the entire 55 to 65 grams of bow. 55 to 65 grams does not seem like a lot, but when it is one itty bitty point of your pinky that is doing all of that lifting, it is actually quite a bit. So you want to release the pressure of your pinky. You just want to let it relax so the tip of your bow drops down towards the floor. Now, using only your pinky and no hand rotation at all, push back down into the bow to lift the pinky. Or bow, sorry. Push your pinky into the bow to lift the bow. So my arm is not rotating. It's literally all the pinky. So you're going from horizontal, dropping it down, and bringing it back to horizontal. Now you'll see my fingers do get a little straighter and they curve a little bit more. That's okay. That's just what they do. I'm not actually controlling the rest of my fingers. They're just literally going along for the ride, and the pinky is driving the bus. So speaking of pinky driving, once you can do your pinky push-ups, then you should be able to do some more fun exercises with your pinky. So I can draw circles with my bow, or I could draw a little star, or I could draw a heart. I could do the alphabet, and this is literally all just the pinky pushing and pulling, lifting and dropping, controlling the bow. Kind of like the rudder on a ship, I guess. So you want to have this extremely well-controlled pinky while keeping your thumb curved, and your bow grip has lots of space in it. You're not allowing anything to collapse and get weird. The straight pinky, again, can do some of these things, but it's not as graceful or as smooth as the curved pinky. So all of these exercises need to be done maintaining the other 4 fingers of your bow grip completely intact. So these fingers just need to know that this is all they ever do, and the pinky gets to like go to the gym hardcore, and everybody else is just, I don't know, waiting in the cafe or something. So once you have mastered or at least gotten moderately comfortable doing these pinky bow exercises, then we can start doing exercises for beautiful tone production on the instrument. So let's get started with that. Sorry, I forgot. One last exercise to test and make sure you have very flexible fingers. All of your joints are nice and loose and flexible, kind of like a jellyfish. You get your very good bow hold. You hold the stick of your bow with your left hand, and you let the fingers relax to their full length, not pressing down and like forcing them straight, but just nice and relaxed. And then you curl them up and you collect the bow and release, collect and release. And this is just making sure that you have lots of flexibility in your fingers. So there's that version where you're holding kind of in the middle of the bow. So there's not much weight happening, feeling in your fingers here. If you want to go ahead and hold the tip of your bow, then you basically feel the full weight of your bow in your fingertips here. And then you can do the same thing here of collecting and releasing your fingers. because you need a nice, very flexible fingers, flexible bow grip. All of the joints of your fingers need to be extremely loose to achieve a lot of the more difficult, more advanced bow strokes. Also, in my style of playing, the Franco-Belgian school, we have a very flat wrist here, which your wrist flexibility also needs to be on point. That your fingers are very flexible and your wrist is very flexible with the bow, so that you can achieve all of the necessary bow strokes that you need. If someone is teaching you to do the Russian style with the kind of straightened pinky and very pronated hand thing, the droopy hand, I don't know what to tell you. I have never been taught the Russian bow grip, so I can't really assist there. So even though I am using the Leopold Auer books for my tone production series, I'm not actually using the bow grip that he teaches in those books. I'm doing it with the Franco-Belgian bow grip. So if you have those books and you're noticing a discrepancy between the way I'm teaching you to hold the bow and the way those books teach you to hold the bow, that is why, because he was a Russian teacher and I am not. So practice your collect and releases, holding various parts of your bow, and a little bit of kind of waving your wrist back and forth to make sure that everything is very loose and there's no tension being held in any part of your hand. So now with that, we can go on to producing a sound on your instrument.